What's up, everyone? Professor Pullups. Welcome to Office Hours, Round 2, Session 2, Intermediate. We're going to continue the last discussion of pull-ups, but add some nuance. We're going to look at the pull-up a little more analytically, and we are going to find ways to increase your reps. So the first thing I want to discuss is the body. Now at the beginning level, I said don't worry too much about whether your body is straight, don't worry about your leg placement, don't worry about if you're moving your legs a little bit to get up. At the intermediate level, we want to start improving the pull-up by making it cleaner, by having the body straight throughout the pull. Now, at an intermediate level, it's okay if you have a slight bend in your knees and pull like that. The advantage of having your legs back in this position is that it can help engage the lats a little more. It tilts you back a little, which is a stronger position to pull from. So don't worry too much about it. But what I really want to focus in on is not kicking with the legs. So the momentum is coming entirely from the back strength. So, you can let your legs hang like this, but when you're pulling, you can see the momentum is being generated entirely from the back, which constitutes a strict pull-up. Now, in order to achieve this straightness of the body, what I think about sometimes is actually squeezing my glutes together and keeping my legs pretty straight, because when you squeeze your glutes, it's actually quite hard to start moving your legs around. So squeeze the glutes and then just pull. And what you'll naturally find is it enforces a strictness. It enforces that nice straight body, otherwise known as the no kip pull-up. All right, so we've covered straightness in the body. The next thing I want to talk about is grip variation. Now, for a beginner's grip, I said just grip the bar however feels strongest to you, which for most people is going to be somewhat narrow, a little wider than shoulder width, with the thumbs under the bar. But when you get to an intermediate level, it's good to start playing around with different grips. So one thing to experiment with is to put the thumbs over the bar, like this, instead of under. So over and pull like that. Now you might ask, what's the difference between under and over? And the answer is it's actually quite subtle. One thing that happens when you put your thumb over the bar is, as you can see, I do shorten the range of motion of the pull just a little bit. So if my thumb is under, it's like there, over. You see how my forearm lifts up naturally just a little bit if I put my thumb over? That's shortening the range that I have to move to get from here to my chin over the bar for the full range pull-up. And as you start thinking about the grip you might want to use in competitions, that little extra range of motion saved can be a good thing to achieve more reps. The other thing, and this relates more to the muscles that are being worked rather than simply shortening the range, is that when you put your thumb over, you start to work slightly different muscles. You take a little bit of the pressure off the inner forearm, actually, and that can help you with forearm fatigue, if that's a problem for you. The one thing is, when you put your thumb over, the grip does tend to slip a little more, especially as you're practicing it at first. So you really have to focus on what I covered before, which is really getting on top of the bar, having those knuckles to the sky, pushing down on it, just like that. So just try to work that in. It's something to just take your pull-ups to the next level, really to have more in your repertoire. And there's no right or wrong here when it comes to thumbs over versus thumbs under. It's just kind of to develop the range of pull-ups that you're able to do. The third point that I want to talk about is Now, I said at the level of a beginner, you just get over in whatever way you can. But as you get more advanced, you want to think about the shortest path to the bar possible. So you're thinking of pulling in a straight line from under the bar right up to the bar, which means you start the pull-up in good balance and pull straight up. And we can even view it from the side. It's probably the best. You see, I'm almost right under the bar, lift my head slightly, pull straight up. By contrast, there is a tendency sometimes to pull back and around. You see how I'm kind of circling, almost doing a rowing motion. And you know, at a beginner's level, there's nothing wrong with that. But as you improve and you want to get more reps more efficiently with greater strictness, you really want to focus on a straight, nice, crisp line to the bar, like that. And it's not just about good form, it's also about power, it's also about repping out. Because just think about it, if I'm going in a circle like that, it's taking me longer than if I'm just here, boom, right up. So think about that. And the way to achieve that straight line is to really try to position yourself right under the bar as you start. Now, because of the shoulder blade retraction, you will naturally be slightly behind the bar, so you're not going to run the risk of hitting your head like that if you're doing the pull-up properly with your shoulders retracted. But you do want to think about starting right underneath like this. Then you retract your shoulders, look up just a little bit, nothing crazy, not like this, but look up just a little, and then that's your pull. So those are the tips for the intermediate level pull-up. Two more variations now of the pull-up that I want to go over. This is more training strategies, training techniques to make that pull-up harder than the regular pull-up. So everything I said before still applies, but we're going to add a little bit of a challenge. So the first challenge is pulling higher. Instead of just getting your chin over, you're going to try to touch the bar at least to the top of your chest. So everything's the same, except instead of here, we're going all the way to there. So here's your full hang, and then chest to bar reps. That is the single most important training innovation that I believe has gotten me to the level I've been able to attain to really hit those high rep sets, to set records, the chest to bar pull-up. Also important, almost equally important, is one of my favorites, been doing it for ages, the weighted pull-up. So, you've all seen it, I'm sure. Get a good strong weight belt and start adding a little bit of weight to those reps. So, if you're just beginning to add weight, I would say throw on a 10. You probably don't want to start weighted pull-ups if a 10 is still too heavy. I think it's a pretty good starting point. So we'll put the 10 pounds onto the belt, and everything else that we've studied applies. Same thing, and do your weighted reps. And as you get even more advanced, throw the weighted and the chest to bar together like that. Now, you might be wondering, well, as I improve, should I add more weight? Should I do chest to bar with the weight that I started with? It could be either. What I like to do is kind of devote one workout a week to each one of those. So one of my workouts will be focused more on weight, and the other workout may be focused more on chest to bar, or maybe it will be different sets within the same workout. But the answer is you want to do both. A final word on training strategy and progression within a workout. when you get to the intermediate level, you might be wondering, okay, I've got all these options. I've got regular pull-ups, I got chest to bar, I got weighted. What do I do at what point? Now, my answer to that question, and this is my personal preference, but I do think it works, and it's definitely worked for me, is that I always go heavy to light. So my weighted reps, my heaviest weighted reps come first. So the sets of 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe with weighted, rest a minute, do maybe 5 sets. That will be the first part of the workout. And then for the second part of the workout, I'll do lighter weight or maybe no weight, and then do maybe some chest to bar reps with that mid-weight attached to the belt, or just regular chest to bar. And then I'll finish the workout with the good old-fashioned standard pull-ups. So the basic principle is that you're going heavy to light, and also going from low reps to higher reps. That's the way I like to structure a workout. That is the basic framework that I think really helps to begin by being explosive, powerful, zapping the body into attention, and then practicing those higher rep sets. That's intermediate pull-ups. Stick with me. We're gonna have an advanced session coming up not too far from now.